All right, welcome everyone to another exciting episode of the Shop and Tread Talk podcast. My name is Anise, and we've got Frank with us as always.
You're here. Yes, we are.
Just before we get started, just want to make sure you follow us on Facebook. You can just search for the Shop and Tread Talk podcast. Like, share, and follow. Frank, why don't you introduce our guest today?
I really don't know this guy at all. He just kind of randomly showed up on our page here, so we thought we'd invite him in. Um, no, we've got Bruce with us today. Bruce and I met at Tools in Pennsylvania. Just kind of, I don't even remember where we were when we met there, but we just started talking, and I think we hung out the whole weekend. And yeah, we had a great time. And yeah, I think we'll talk about why Bruce was there to begin with, and kind of we'll talk about what you do and why you still do it after all these years. But yeah, Bruce, if you want to just introduce yourself a little bit more, and then we'll just get right into it.
All right. No, I'm Bruce. I'm a lead technician. Um, I've been doing it for 16 years now. So obviously we met at Tools and kind of just I was just hanging around, just trying to see who I could meet, I guess, and I met the two Canadian podcasters. So I just hung out with you guys and
Cool.
that's kind of where we are now.
How did you end up at Tools? Because I think earlier you were kind of saying you didn't know about it, or you just kind of ended up there, or how'd that happen?
Yeah, so I didn't know about tools at all, and it's basically my backyard. It was about an hour away from me.
Okay.
Um, not throwing shade on anyone in tools at all, but yeah, the first time I heard about it was on Jeff's podcast.
Yep.
He said
Good.
about it, and I was like, "It's in Hershey." I'm like, that's right around the corner for me. Like, let me go check this out and just see, what's all there, what
Yep.
they offer, and it was definitely an eye opening experience.
It's
So you
great.
want to talk about dedication to training, and John, if you're listening to this guy every single night he drove. He didn't stay there. He drove an hour every night and every morning, and so that's dedication to training. And you said your employer didn't help you at all. You did it all in your own dime. So that's really awesome to see that you were able to do that, and you were able to actually make that happen. And
Wow.
and I think I remember you saying one time you went to your boss and said, "I'm not coming in this weekend. I'm going to be off from here to here." So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I told him, I was like, "Hey, look, I got a training event in Hershey, and it's from Thursday till Sunday." I was like, "You guys are more or less going to have to figure out what you have to do,
Good.
but I'm not going to be here."
There
And
you go.
I gave him plenty enough heads up that they could plan for it and adjust as needed.
That's excellent that you were able to go, especially being your actually same thing I told Frank. Being your first time, is this first expo you're going to in
Yeah,
general?
that was the first one I ever went to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
same as
being
me.
the first one, I was telling Frank and his lovely wife the same thing that being your first expo, it's incredible that you guys were able to go to Tools out of all of them because it's a little more intimate because there's not 4,000 people there like some of the other ones, which again, I went to Vision. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but there was about 4,000 people there. This one,
That would weird me out.
from what I understand, Frank was saying there's about 350, 400 people there.
I
So
think that's what
yeah,
400. Yep.
so you got to kind of somewhat see the same people all the time, and it was more intimate. You got to really get to know people, and you see the same people around in the hallways and in the classes. So I mean, I honestly I wish I could have made it this year, but next year I'm really gonna shoot to make it for sure. But I think that's awesome that you heard about it on Jeff's podcast and we're able to go, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it, and then when I was there, and talking to a bunch of the guys there. My actual um, my parts rep was there.
Oh wow,
I ended up. I talked to him about it. I was like, "Hey, look, like we need to like kind of get this out there too." So
good, yeah.
when the next event comes up locally, I'm gonna have him like print out extra flyers and try to get the word out of like, "Hey, this is a thing." Like, try and get more
Especially
people
you're
to go
local,
too.
man. Like you'd be the first person that should know about it, right? Because I mean, that's extremely local for you.
Yeah, and like I assume my parts guy knew about it in advance. Just not. I don't know how to say it, but like not like that. It was pre- prevalent for him to like spread the word about it, if that makes sense. Because I had
What
like,
it could be, Bruce, is there may have not been a time in the past where it had come up in conversation, maybe with your employer about training. So it may have not been something that he, talks to that your employer about that would mention it to your techs, or maybe none of the other techs have maybe mentioned, oh, are there any trainings or is there any this? So it may not be a conversation that he's used to having with your particular location, right?
yeah, I mean that definitely could be a possibility too. Um, but I was surprised because I think out of everyone there that I met, there was two guys that were local like me, like as
Yeah.
far as like within 10 minutes of my shop
Wow.
that ended up going.
Okay.
Um, and I was kind of surprised, but then at the same aspect, there was like Benji from down in North Carolina,
Cool guy.
obviously
Yeah.
Jeff and Frank from
Yeah.
Canada, and then there was that one chick. I don't know if Frank knows her. She's Canadian. Jeff knew her.
Oh,
Oh,
Coralie.
Orly.
Yeah, yeah, she was there. I met her, talked to her
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was like there's so many people that were not from the area that I'm like, okay, like this got out there to everyone further out, not
Yep.
so much, local, or maybe it was local and just there wasn't a lot of people that showed interest in it. Who knows?
I think from what I kind of understand, again, going off Jeff's podcast and everything, I think the actual expo is kind of making a comeback now. So I think there maybe it lost a bit of steam, but from what I understand, it's starting to come back and gaining a bigger following. Which, again, it was a very successful event from what I hear.
Organizer.
So I'm assuming next year is going to be even bigger. So that
Well,
should be a lot of
from
fun.
what I understood is the expo like 3 years ago didn't exist. It only had like 100 participants,
Oh wow. Okay.
and so that's why they really starting to ramp it back up again. And this was the who was the organizer? I forget what the organizer's name was.
Brett
Brett.
Fadley.
Yeah, Brett. Yeah. So when we were chatting with him, he said that 3 or 4 years ago there was like 100 people attending. Last year there was. Well, it's basically growing every year again since then. And so to have the 400 this year, he said it was phenomenal.
Yep.
And of course, they're just going to have to work on everything. Like the venue was good, and I think the venue can hold probably significantly more people than even the 400 that were there. But if it grows too much, then it might have to look for a different venue. But the venue was amazing, so that was one of the things that Brett said is that finding the venue one that worked for the size of what it was and what it
Yep.
could become
Yep.
is a bit of a challenge. So
Well, see, the only reason I knew about tools realistically is listening to podcasts and being in the Facebook groups. But otherwise, like I wouldn't have any way of knowing about really any of these expos unless I'm exposed to all these different channels, right? But if you're not in these different networks and different friend circles that are going to these things, 100%, Bruce, like how are you gonna really know about these things unless you randomly, you hear it on Jeff's podcast, you're like, oh, okay, well, that sounds interesting. But if you did not hear it that day, you probably wouldn't have gone because it's not like you were hearing it from your parts guy or from the other guy that's 10 minutes down the road from you, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's I didn't hear it from really anybody. Like I think it might have even been like a handful more episodes on Jeff's podcast till he
Oh yeah,
brought it up again, and
he
like
brought it up
that was
quite a few
just
times. Oh yeah,
insane. He just brought it up as it was just tools. I don't know if he said expo or whatever, but you know he didn't say it was in Hershey every time.
right, right, okay,
So, but when the first time he said about it, instead of being in Hershey, that's when I hopped on Facebook and kept tabs on it just to try to see like what's going on.
yep,
And then when I was there and I was talking to Benji, he's on the board for Asta.
yep.
So then he's convincing me to show up to Asta now.
Oh, you gotta go. Yep.
Let's
So
go.
you know I got to see what I can do there to get out there.
Yeah, you just jump on a plane and you go. What do you mean? There's only one way to go, buddy.
That's how I'm
Well,
getting there. I ain't walking.
I got some difficulties with passports and whatnot, so I might have to drive down.
Oh, I
You don't
mean,
need a passport. You're North Carolina.
So with flights, you either have to have the real ID or
oh yeah,
passport.
yeah, that's right.
So, and I have an expired passport,
Hmm.
and
So
my wife has an expired passport.
so
Um,
doesn't so you can't fly within your country just with your like driver's license.
as far as I know, we can,
So
but I don't do much flying.
oh, you should find out because like we can here. If I go to Toronto and I'm flying to Alberta, I can fly just with uh, my driver's license, my identification that way.
No, there in the states, I think you're right with the real ID or the passport. I think I talked to somebody else in the same
That's crazy.
situation.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because you would think you'd only need the passport if you're going international.
Yeah, but I mean that's a matter of just renewing it, right? Bruce shouldn't be too big a deal.
Well, for me, it's easy. I can renew it. I have all the documents for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite a
My
story for
wife, on the other hand, she doesn't have a technically undamaged birth certificate.
Ah, okay.
Hers has a crease in it, and it's
just pack her in some
yeah,
luggage. And say, look, this is my carry-on.
yeah.
Or if you want to just make life easy, just jump in your vehicle and drive on over.
How far is that from where you are? My geography of the U.S. is pretty limited.
Depending on where in North Carolina, it's like
Raw.
7 hours, give or take.
That's what we drove down to PA.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm not really worried about catching a flight because I'll spend the same amount of time catching a flight.
Yep.
Well, that's what we did. We looked at flying down, and first of all, it was like 3 stops we'd have to do, and I'm like, this is stupid, and would have taken the same amount of time, then still have to rent a car while we're out there. It's like this is
Yep.
so driving down was by far our best option, even though it took an extra day, but that's fine. I think it was about 8 hour drive, 10 because I had to stop at Harbor Freight. She's like, you don't have to stop every time you go. I'm like, yeah, kind of do.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Um,
I drive by one twice a day.
oh yeah.
I can
Yeah.
stop whenever you need me to, Frank.
I suppose at that point you might get immune to the nostalgic or how awesome it is, but you compare that to our Princess Auto that we have up here, doesn't even hold a candle to it. Like
I heard Harbor Freight's pretty awesome.
it has some pretty neat things, some pretty good stuff.
You don't have any by you, Anise?
No, no, like Frank and I are about an hour and a half. Well, I guess our stores are about an hour and a half away, but no, we're pretty much in the same vicinity. So we deal with Princess Auto for similar-ish types of things. I mean, at
But you,
that point, I'd
how
rather just go to Canadian Tire.
Denise, how far are you from crossing the border where you are? You'd have to go Niagara Falls, right?
I go to Niagara,
Yeah.
hour and a half or so.
Yeah, so that's about the same as me going over to Detroit
Detroit,
or
yeah.
where the heck's the other one? Yeah, So it's not far. It's not far, but still, it takes time to go and do that. Then you got to be gone for more than 24 hours if you actually want to bring anything back.
I think it's yeah. If you're gone for 24 hours, you can't really bring anything.
$200.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You'll
It's,
spend that in 2 minutes at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, that won't take long, even though it is cheaper stuff there. Like I was looking at their what is it, anti-slip or non-slip wrenches that they got.
oh
That
yeah.
They're
that alone's $200 for the whole
they're
set.
they're good. If you don't have them, they're good.
Well, I have the Snap-on ones,
Yeah,
and I was questioning how good they are because I've seen the tests and like they say they're on par
yeah.
as the same.
So I have the Snap on in the metric, and then I only had the Mastercraft in the standard. I'm like, oh, you know what? I think they were on sale the one time I was there for like $80 or something like that,
Oh
or is
yeah.
that 120? Like, you know what? I'll buy the full set of the icons, and dude, they're good. Like legit, I'm quite impressed with them for the price.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, compared to our Snap-on ones, like there's a big price difference there.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Bruce, so at the we should probably talk about you here. We went on a little bit of a rabbit hole there with the trading,
Rabbit hole.
but Bruce, so at the place that you're working at the moment, is there something that you specialize in there, or is it just kind of general repair?
We do a little bit of everything. One thing we kind of stay away from is the larger engine jobs, trans jobs.
Yep.
We'll still do them, but we kind of make a judgment call.
Seldom, right?
Usually it's like it gets towed in and it's a slow week,
Yep.
and it's like yeah, we should do this to give us something to do, and then
Yep.
every time we say yes, the phone doesn't stop ringing.
Yep.
So, but it's catch 22 because if you say no, because I've been there, then the phone never rings.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we do it all. We do alignments, basic maintenance, diagnostic. Actually, that's like what I do. I do all the diagnostics there.
Okay.
Um, so we do more or less everything. We do some Euro stuff.
Oh,
Um, yeah, all of it.
so you enjoy rebuilding BMW engines that are leaking from every end
Ooh.
possible?
Well, you say that. I actually have a 23-year-old who loves his BMWs, and ideally, I'd like him to do it. But we haven't had many that came in. Like the one I remember was at another shop, and they said it needed an engine, and the
Oh
guy
yeah.
wanted a second opinion on it. So he brought it in, and we started diagnosing it, and he ran out of money. So then he towed it out of our shop, I
Damn.
assume, to another shop. So I'm like, well, like you kind of got to decide, like, do you want it fixed
Yep.
or do you want to find the cheapest shop around and go from there?
Yep.
So, but we try to do what we can with what we got, and it's sometimes it doesn't always work out.
I kind of look at the car, and if it looks like it's going to be a can of worms and cause me stress, I just don't even bother. I
Yeah.
just let someone else deal with it.
Yeah. See, but your shop doesn't really do. You don't do major mechanical like that. You're more of the steering, suspension, tires, right? Like
Yeah,
that.
we get into some. I guess
Some, right?
we get into some major mechanical for me still is sometimes a lot of the suspension stuff because we're really taking the suspension apart on some of the like the Teslas and stuff that we do.
Yep.
Like that's some pretty major suspension stuff we do. But like I think the last engine job we did, I think it was last year.
Oh, we're doing an engine job right now in an Audi
Oh,
A4.
oh, Frank,
So the
Frank,
engine's out and going back in tomorrow. I'm
Frank, why
tomorrow.
would you do that?
It's easy
Why
money.
Taking
that
Audi.
one's easy.
Oh,
But the guy I got working for me now, he loves drivetrain stuff. So he's like, oh man, it's. He says that's a piece of cake, and he got it out. Honestly, he did really good time on it.
my stomach's hurting. I'm trying to decide if it's because you said Audi or if I had it's a pizza I had earlier. Oh God.
I'm
I,
tomorrow. I'm starting to pull down a Hemi because it's got its famous tick, so it's going to need lifters in it. So I got to pull the heads off and get them shipped off to get rebuilt.
Yep.
Um,
not a Hemi.
Not a Hemi, no. We're in the midst of not major engine work, but we've got a '93 BMW 3 Series that
I heard Margarita. Thank you.
she said no. And this okay, it's actually a really decent car. It was it was his dad's car. It's been sitting in storage for like 15 years, so he just bringing it out now. We're just going
Okay.
through it and doing some things, getting the windows to work and the exhaust and anyways. But yeah, that was kind of a fun project because I have to fix the AC and the blower fan didn't work, and I had to figure out how 1993 electronics worked on a BMW, and it was kind of fun. But that's
Oh,
kind of stuff that I get into all the time.
yeah, you give me heartburn.
And me too.
Jeez.
uh,
I think beyond like just like you said, like beyond brakes, suspension, oil changes, and tires, we really don't get too deep into the Euro stuff. It's and again, it's just not something that we're comfortable with, right? I mean, if we had a guy like you have someone that's comfortable with it, we'd probably do a bit more. But um, I'm kind of at the point where it's not something I need. Like I don't need that extra headache. I'll use that in air
yeah,
quotes. But if I had the person that can really get into it, I probably would. But I'm just not the type of person that will tell a customer, "Yep, we can fix it." If I'm not confident that we can fix it, right? So
yeah. But then you got to dedicate a bay to it as well. And if you
yeah,
got your
yeah,
bays full of doing steering, suspension, and brakes, why the heck would you do that? If I had my bays full of steering, suspension, and brakes, I wouldn't be touching an engine job. There ain't no way.
no, we're pouring gravy
Why would
every
I?
day, man.
Yep.
yeah, dude, I'll take suspension jobs all day over even diagnostic because I'll flip 10 cars to one on diag
Yep.
and it's I know a lot of people aren't fond of flat rate, but that's what I'm on, and I make a killing on it. So it's like I'll give me some easy stuff. I'll do them all day. Toyota
Yep.
Yep.
control arms all day.
Yeah. Just pound it out real quick.
But it also again with flat rate, which is kind of a rage bait topic and everything, but with flat rate, it really depends on the shop that you're at, right, and how they're working your flat rate. Some places, like you're going to the big dealerships, flat rate's great as long as the hours are there and you're getting good tickets, right?
Oh
But
yeah, I've been there where it's you're not making the money you need to.
yeah,
But then again, like in my position that of what I know,
yep,
a lot of the times there's a lot of people that are getting passed up and it's coming to me anyway.
yeah,
They're like, "Hey, we got this going on. I need you to look at it." Because I worked all over the place. I was at dealers, mom and pops, corporate facilities,
yep,
franchises. Like I was everywhere.
yep,
So I've kind of got the lay of the land for the most part. I mean, management's always different
yep,
everywhere you go. Um, but when you find good places, they're good, and when you
yep.
find not good places, you figure it out pretty quick.
Oh yeah,
And obviously, a lead technician with my knowledge, it's easy to move to a different location or different business, whatever,
definitely.
and keep on rolling.
Well, just like Jeff says, you hear him all the time. Those toolboxes have wheels for a reason, right?
Yep. And obviously, it's not good to look at it that way, but in the same sense, like We had a guy quit on us Monday. Like
Oh yeah.
Monday at 6 o'clock, he quit, and he was supposed to be in Tuesday, I think 6:45 to open,
Hmm.
and it threw everything off. Now he wasn't a technician; he was
Yep.
one of my guys up front, but it definitely altered how we had to do things, and it was like, okay, we'll roll with this one for now.
No, but what I meant by that is, with the toolbox and all that is, you know, if you're being treated properly and you're being respected and everything, that toolbox is going to stay locked down to the floor.
Oh yeah,
But the second that you're being mistreated and not respected and everything, I mean, those locks come up and she's gone. Right?
yeah. I mean, it's a double edged sword because there's some instances where, if me as a technician's having a bad day
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and a guy up front's having a bad day, then that can make.
Oh, for sure. But if things
Oh,
pile up over time, and you start seeing the place differently and stuff, right? That can definitely change your outlook on your actual job over time.
oh yeah,
Not
without a
like something
doubt.
like random, but over time. I've talked to a lot of techs that over time things just start piling up, and it just gets to a boiling point, right?
Oh yeah,
You have to work on those things because if things pile up and pile up, there's an issue. So somebody's got to be in charge of that. So who's in charge of dealing with these issues? And if the person in charge is the one creating the issues,
Yeah,
somebody else got to deal with it. But yeah, when there's that much animosity between the front, they always say the front of the house and the back of the house,
yeah,
something's got to change. So either somebody leaves, like you said, Bruce, somebody left this last week, then now the whole dynamic has changed again. So now what happens? Now you get somebody else in there. Are they going to be better? What's going to happen there? What was the reason, right? So you always got to be working on that, and you always got to figure that out.
but
Because
yeah, yeah. I mean, like specifically with us, I joke with my boss because me and him text back and forth all the time. Um, and I told him I was like, we're probably going to be like 6 months till we find the good one, and not necessarily, you know, the all star hitting everything out of the park with sales, but like find someone who will suit the shop because like
yeah,
we need someone who has bilingual um, talk because we have a lot of Hispanics that come in,
yep.
and me and my boss joke like we need. I think he said it was what was it? He wanted a female, a Dominican female. I think he said.
Oh, it's getting pretty specific there.
And I'm like, hey man, like whatever, whatever works. Like I'm cool as long as they can speak Spanish and sell the work. Like that's
Yeah,
where I'm at.
but getting somebody that fits in the dynamic of your shop. I was thinking about that today with I was watching the guys work, and they were joking and talking to each other, and I'm like, you know what? Having that they can actually have that conversation and communication like that, and not just be like throwing wrenches at each other and yelling all the time, man, that counts for a lot. Even if maybe they're not the best producers or whatever, but if you don't have to put out fires every single day and duck as wrenches are flying over you,
well,
honestly,
it's nice
that
that
makes a
they
huge
actually
difference
put
in your
out a
shop.
couple fires for you, right? That's a game
Exactly.
changer too,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I'm huge with the guys in the shop of like, hey, if you don't know something, like come get me. I don't mind showing you. I mean, and I tell them, I'm like, look, like I know it's you don't want to do it every time, but I'd rather you do it every time so that I know you're doing it right
Yep,
Yep.
and I don't have to come back through and fix something that got messed up because you didn't want to take the minute or two to be like, hey, Bruce, I need some help over here. Like I'd much rather stop what I'm doing so I don't have to do it 3 times
yep,
because it's just way better to just get it beforehand, and then I'm teaching these guys so the next job they're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
So
I always tell my guys, I'm like, if there's something that you're fighting and it's like you're gonna be 15, 20 minutes struggling with this one thing, just say, hey, come on, what would you do in this case? And usually I walk over and it's like, oh, do it this and this, and then in 2 minutes it's done. And I'm like, I'd rather you do that, like you said, Bruce. Interrupt me. I'll come and show you, teach you, and figure it out with you together. That way, now instead of you wasting 30 minutes, we together wasted 10 minutes, but we got it done, and then
But
we can
then
move forward and
you
get the
could
rest
have
of the week.
you could have just had Margarita fix it in 5.
Listen, if she could do it all, and if we just let her do it all, I could just actually that's a good idea.
Because you said you
I
were
could
gonna
just
fix
sit
it
at
in
home.
10. She's probably gonna fix it in 5. So you wasted 5 minutes, Frank.
yeah, that's 1/10.
Yeah, well, I guess we could. That's how we could get our sales up. I
There
guess.
you go.
How's that?
No, no, Frank, you make a good point though. I mean, both of you, like
One coming from over
the
there.
even the younger techs and stuff, they need someone. Even if they're not even the younger techs, they need someone that could be more experienced than they are to kind of lend them a helping hand and say, hey, look, you can do it this way you're doing it, but you're fighting this bolt for no reason. If you use this tool here and do this and heat it up this way and wait and do it this way, you're going to save yourself, half the time, and it's going to be done right, and you're not going to break stuff.
When I was an apprentice, the thing we did a lot of was brake lines, and the struggle, and we've all had that trying to start the line nut. The
Yep.
guy I worked at was a freaking whiz. If I was struggling, and he would just walk over and be like, doop, doop, and the line would be started, and I'd be like, oh, every time. Now I'm that guy, and my apprentices and my employees are trying and trying and trying. I'm like, what are you struggling with? I can't get this brake line started. I was like, all right, take a minute, step back, look at it. I'm like, well, you're at it like a 2-degree angle. Bend it a little bit, start it. And they're like, oh, I hate it when you do that. But thank you. And then the job is done.
Yeah, I love like specifically brake lines, like because I have to do them on my Tacoma. I literally just bought a stainless steel kit for it.
Yep.
Um, Usually, like we're doing other stuff too. PA, just like in Canada, that we got some rust problems.
A
Yep.
little bit.
So
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do wheel cylinders while we're here, and it's like, well, don't mount the wheel cylinder,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh
like,
yeah. Yep.
it kind of give you a weird look, and they're like, what?
No,
And
no. Start the
I'm
line
like,
first.
you can put it together while everything's moving, and start it and get it all snugged up, and then you can mount it. It's
Yep.
Yeah.
like it'll save you so much hassle. And they're like, well, how did you figure this out? I'm like, I figured it out the hard way,
Yeah.
just like everybody
Yeah.
else.
Just be happy you're learning the easy way. Yep.
Yeah,
Same with
exactly.
brake hoses. I tell my guy all the time.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Brake hoses to the hard line. It's like same thing. Just let it loose and you can get it started and
Yep.
put it down.
No, we've what was I going to say here? The those brake lines, I think for our shop in particular, we haven't had to do too many of them lately unless somebody comes in. We don't really get anything too much older than like a 2014 or 15 at our place. I actually turned off online booking for anything older than like a 2011 or 12 because I find a lot of those vehicles that come in, for one, they're going to be 90% all rotted out, and whenever you can't even lift half of them anymore. So the last, I think, 5 or 6 that have come through, it's been to the point where like they've come in for a changeover of tires, and we're like we can't lift your vehicle, and then that gets into a big fighting and argument match, and then they leave a 1-star review and leave. So I'm like, you know what? It's probably better just kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
avoid
If
that.
you're not set up for that kind of stuff, then the best thing is to not touch it. I always find that if you're not, like you said earlier about the Euros, if you're not into the
Yeah.
Euros, just don't touch them. Like
No,
I
no.
generally don't work on it. There's a few in between, like the engine swap, no big deal, right?
The difference
But
is
if
you're a
it's like,
mechanic, Frank. Like you're
yeah, but
It's
still, it's
different for you. Like if you wanted to get into it, you could.
yeah. Well, I could if I wanted to, but yeah, this same engine. Like, let's say this same car that we're changing the engine in came in and they wanted, uh, I don't know, the heads redone or even timing chains. Like I've done timing chains on a job like that before, and I probably promised myself I'd never do it again because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
The amount of times that you get into something like that and it's like, oh, now I need this and now I need this and now I need this and now I need this, and it's just like,
I hope you're charging a euro labor rate for this car.
that's what we're
Frank.
working with. We have it, right?
I'm gonna call Rick right now.
Yeah, you do that. But yeah, that's just the thing is those kinds of things they need to have special because it's like they're set up so different than your North American vehicles.
It's very meticulous.
Yeah.
And one of the big things is torque to yield bolts too. Like I
Well,
actually
what's
ran
that?
into
I don't know what that means.
I ran into an issue on I think it was an 18 Escape. The harmonic balancer bolt is a torque to yield one time use. That cost us an engine. Like unfortunately, like no one. I didn't take the time to look through the service information to know this.
Yep.
Until I did, it was already needed an engine. So, and we actually called our local. We have a Lincoln dealer that for us is better than our Ford dealer. So we called them and said, "Hey, look, here's the VIN number. We're looking for a harmonic balancer, crank bolt, whatever you want to call it." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we got 7 of them in stock. They're $13."
Yep.
And it's like, you're kidding me. It was $13 and it would have saved us 5 grand on this engine.
Mm.
It's
You
again,
didn't
learn the hard way on that.
you didn't read the service manual?
Nope. It,
RTFM. I think that's what Brian Pollock said. RTF. Read the effing
yep.
manual. Yeah.
Yep. It's one of those things that it's like you're just blasting through the information and you miss that one key note and you know a lot of the times that you don't run into an issue, you're like, you can reuse it. And the one time you're like, all right, never again. We're replacing them all.
Yep. But now, how often do you read service manuals on work you're doing? A little more often.
Well, I, all right. So since going to tools, and I didn't have a Brian Pollock class, but I did see him and Jeff talked about it a lot. And I was like, okay, like, let me approach this a different angle.
Yep.
And some of the classes that I went to was technician like diagnostic stuff of
Yep.
like, hey, get get a process in place and
Yep.
stick to it every single time. So it's I had a process and I'm just expanding on it.
Yep.
And that's one of the things. It's like, okay, like take the extra 5-10 minutes, read through the whole process, and make sure whether it's tooling, hardware, whatever the job calls for, it's going to get done right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's extremely important. I tell my service advisor that too. I'm like, if you're booking in a job that we don't regularly do, I want you to look through the repair procedure to see is there anything that you pops out to you, and then say, hey, this doesn't look normal, or
Yep.
like something like that. Like, hey, this is torque to yield bolts, or this needs this specific tool to do the job. And if anything pops up to him, which doesn't as much as if I go look at it, right? Then it's like, okay, well, hey, we need to buy a special tool. There ain't no way of doing this job without a special tool. So we got
Yep.
to order this special tool if we're going to do this job.
Yeah.
So I always have them do that so that we can be prepared for that. But torque to yield bolts, we transit van rear brake. Yeah. So we've never had an issue with it, but I've heard of people having these bolts snap off, right? So the last one we did, I'm like, you know what? I've done them before and I put it back on. I'm like, you know what? Maybe let's not. Let's get new bolts.
Well, it's I know like for us, like because me and you talk, Frank, about your inspection processes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Here it's annually, and that's one of the things that you can't use the ignorance is bliss to get out of a lawsuit anymore.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's you have access to the service information and you know how to read. So if you do something you're not supposed to, they can come after you for it. So that's they started. I'm probably in the last 3 years. Like I know shops that got shut down because they weren't doing the right inspections and they were passing stuff they shouldn't have. And instances like, you do the brakes on the transit and then the bolts snap and you're at fault because you just did the brakes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something now that's like way more prevalent than what it was 10 years ago, that it's like, well, hey, no one used to do this back in the day. And now it's like, okay, like you got to make sure like everything you got to do is being done better than what you think you need to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
And
you
and
could.
torquing the heck out of everything. Like that's something that I've made mandatory in my shop, that everything gets torqued. Every suspension bolt, every brakes. Well, brakes have always been torqued, but we started every suspension bolt. Like I want everything torqued, and I want it noted that it's torqued.
Yeah.
And I mean, it takes a little bit more time. Sometimes you have to look through the repair procedure of what the torque spec is, but no comebacks for loose bolts. I was talking with a friend today. He said that he's uh, he's had to. He gave one more chance to one of his techs. Be like, look, stuff it keeps getting left loose. This is your last warning, and if this doesn't change, I'm gonna have to let you go. So I'm like, you know, with the right procedures in place, that shouldn't happen. But I
Yeah.
mean, if you've got a lazy tech, that's still gonna happen, right?
But
Um,
doesn't it say inside the manual it's like one Ugga Dugga and then two Ugga Duggas? Isn't that what it kind of says?
yeah, but
Just
is it a Milwaukee Ugga Dugga or a DeWalt Ugga Dugga? That's a big difference.
because I mean, you don't go to three Ugga Duggas. That's over torqued, right?
No,
Oh
that's
man,
for head bolts. You do three Ugga
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Listen. Okay, story time.
Oh God, what I do?
Yep. So when I was an apprentice, I worked at a small mom and pop shop, and the majority of the things that we did there is
Ugga
um,
Dugga.
the guy would go. My employer would go and get cars at the auction, and it would salvage cars, and we would fix them up. But when I started there, one of the main cars that they did, I love my Chevy Cruises right now because that's what a thing I do. Well, the cars that he did was these old K cars, the Chrysler 2.2 liter, 2.5 liter Chrysler Dodge K car. Okay. Well, those guys had figured out that if they were going to do head gaskets on a Dodge 2.5, one guy did it in 25 minutes. He did a full head gasket job. He had it figured, he had it figured out. He would roll it up to the top, slip the timing belt off, tie it up to the hood. Okay. Then he would zip the valve cover off, take his impact off on all of the head bolts. Then he grabbed a chain, tied it around the camshaft, a long bar, went like this, went pulled the head off, yay far, reached in there like this, went and it took the gasket out, slipped the new gasket in, laid it back down, head bolts in, belt back on, cover on, done. Two Ugga I kid you not, that was the Ugga right there.
Yeah, but see, you didn't
And
say
those
three.
cars would run forever like that. I
Three
mean,
Ugga
so you
Duggas.
needed a new
You're
head
gonna
gasket
get the
years
MTO
later.
after you. Two is okay.
Oh yeah. So the
I've heard.
Ugga thing does work or did work back in the '90s. Not so much now.
Yeah,
Well,
not
yeah,
so much.
you're iron on iron.
That's
You're
all it
not
was,
you're
right?
not aluminum on iron or
Yeah.
aluminum and
It
aluminum.
it was. I'll never forget that. Whenever somebody says Ugga I'm like, I got to tell that story and I watched him do it. I'm like, he just zip zip zip, and it was like less than 30 minutes. He had this head gasket changed, and I'm like, cool.
Bruce, on customer cars, obviously you torque all the wheels. I'm hoping.
Yes.
Um, do you do you tell them to come back to retorque?
No, I don't. I've never run into an issue in my career other than when I had some personal things going on in my life, and it was like probably 2 years in the industry. I had two wheel offs,
Hmm.
and I can tell you exactly why they happened. My mind wasn't in it, and that it happened, and it was at the same employer that I was at, and I ended up I left. It was probably like 2 months later, and I haven't had an issue since.
But it's not like a rule of thumb where like you mention it, or if it's on the receipt, or that you must come back for retorque after X amount of kilometers, nothing like that.
We do miles, but no,
Oh, sorry,
I've
geez,
not
miles. Yeah.
not had not had to deal with anything like that. I think it was 2 weeks ago we had an issue where customer had us change a rim out, and we torqued everything down because that's our process is
Yep.
hand torque every wheel. And with that being said, the car came in and the stud was loose on the hub, but it
Okay.
was like you could jiggle the lug nut. So it's like, well, that wasn't us.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, we were trying to do our own brakes.
No.
And it's like, okay, so you're trying to blame this on us, and you were trying to do your own brakes.
Yeah.
Like, do you see the problem here? So, and we couldn't get a hub for that as quickly as they wanted us to.
Hmm.
But we could get a whole loaded knuckle assembly, but they didn't want to spend. I think it was just $1,000 part cost.
Hmm.
So and they didn't want to spend that, so they took the vehicle and left.
So what's your process for torquing? You just zip it on, torque it. Do you test drive it after, or just one time torque?
So we usually zip them on with nut runners,
Oh yeah, yeah.
torque sticks, um, and it's always on the lowest setting, and then we hand torque them all with snap-on click style torque wrenches. So, but like us specifically, we do a star pattern and then we do a circle.
Yep.
So it's getting double torqued, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Here in Canada, it's very, how do you say it? It's different than the states, I guess you could say. Here, like everyone's very serious about torquing wheels, and again, not saying that you guys are not, but here it's to the point where you hear about it on the news, like wheels coming off, and so even you get customers coming in, and they'll actually, even first time customers, I should come back for a retorque, right? So it's like a normal thing here.
Yeah, it's very much pushed in the industry. Our process is always we torque it, then every vehicle gets test driven at least for you it'd be a mile, but 2 kilometers, it'd be about 2 kilometers, and then we park it and torque it again. So you'd be surprised at how often you have a wheel nut that's loose after that short little drive.
Yeah.
And it's just something that we've implemented. I implemented that years ago, even when I was still at the old shop, because I had a vehicle that a wheel came loose, not off, but just loose. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how can we prevent this? And so I said, well, why don't we drive it first before we give it back to the customer,
Yep.
and then torque it again, and then that should eliminate it. And I have not had a single issue since. So that's been, I haven't, over 10 years, I haven't had a single issue with a wheel loose or wheel nut loose doing it that way. If somebody forgets to do it, or something else, but I don't think we've ever had in our shop one.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Well, we had one towed in from a local tire shop where the wheel came completely off, destroyed the rim and hub and everything. But I asked them, I said, did they do any kind of like ask you to come back and retorque or anything like that? He says, no, nothing like that. Just torque the wheel and let them go, set them out the door.
So we torque the wheels, and then we have it on our actual invoice that they must return to retorque.
Yep.
And Frank, you've seen the little parking ticket thing I got, right? I have a yellow sticker. It's like this big, and it's got the whole write up in there. Your wheels were torqued to this by this person at these this kilometers. You must return. And it's like a little sticky pad, and we stick it right on their steering wheel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I'll send it to you, Frank. So
Yeah.
when they
You print
yeah.
it out like you have a printer for it and everything.
No, no, no. I ordered it from a supplier,
Oh,
and
okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be interested to see that.
yeah, and it's really cool. So it goes right on the steering wheel. So if they say, "Well, you never told me," it's like, "Oh no, we did." It's on your steering wheel. It's on your invoice. It's also we're gonna change it through our shop management system. It sends them text reminders and everything. We're gonna even change it so we even have it sent to each customer through text at the end. When there's like an automatic "thank you for visiting," blah blah blah. We're gonna add on the bottom, please make sure you return to retorque your wheels after X amount of kilometers. So if, knock on wood, they complain, oh well, you guys didn't torque my wheels or whatever. Say, well, on May 9th at 2:35 p.m. you did also get a text
Yeah,
to
yeah,
remind you too, right? But
yeah.
like
Not
that's
nothing
how
wrong. Nothing wrong with having more than one reminder.
but that's how serious in Canada it is, Bruce. Like you don't hear about this stuff a lot in the States.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's, and I know I've worked many places that people just ran them on and literally ugga
Just with
dugga,
an
and
impact,
Oh,
right?
not three though.
I don't trust that. Like I've seen too many bad things happen. It's like even just working on the car after that guy, and it's like, oh hey, like one of these lug nuts was loose. Like, what do you mean? I'm just like, well, I see how you torque wheels. Like
Yeah,
one of them was loose. You're lucky it didn't come off.
yeah,
Um, but like, yeah, it's kind of more laxed
yeah,
as far as that goes, which it can go either way.
yep,
But again, like with the annual inspections, we're supposed to be pulling at least one wheel off in the front and the opposite in the rear every
okay,
single time. Certain companies want you to do all four,
yep,
but it's whatever the company says. That obviously that's what you got to do.
Yeah,
But
okay,
legally, we're required to take one off in the front, one off in the rear,
yeah,
opposite each other. So we're at least doing two of them are getting torqued. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But there's instances where specifically like on that car that I said about with the lug nut stud moving,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had my guy go around and just torque check the other three just to make sure, like, hey, are they tight or are they not tight? If they're not
Especially
tight,
because he said he was into it with the brakes and all that. So
yeah, like and that's one of the things I was like, look, if it's been messed with or whatever, and they're loose, like I need you to make a note on that ticket. Hey, this wheel it had three lug nuts loose or
yeah,
whatever. Just so it when and if it does come back, it's like, hey, look, we only did a front wheel, but we checked the torque on the others,
yep.
and this is what we saw, and that's on you.
You guys do inspections at your shop,
Yes.
like video inspections, picture like digital vehicle inspections.
So we just got a new digital inspection system. They just rolled it out. It was Wednesday last
Okay.
week. So, but prior to that, we had a digital inspection. It's a new version for us that we can now do multiple pictures and we can do videos on it now.
What's
okay,
what
cool.
software are you using there, Bruce?
It's the whatever the shop decided. It's not like a program you guys are gonna know.
Okay.
So
It's not tech metric. That's what Nees
yeah,
is
oh,
getting at. 'Cause
I
everyone's
wish
got to
it
be on tech
was.
metric to make him happy.
Yeah, I wish it was. I use TechMetric. That's an awesome system that they got.
It's the best.
Don't
So
don't ask my wife. She still has fights with it.
We'll fix that. I think Frank, you're actually doing all the errors just to piss her off.
You got to keep her on her toes.
that sounds like Frank.
Yep.
But like what we actually started doing is I have one tab where it won't let you. I'm trying to set it to where it won't let you clear that actual work order out without having the video inspection. So we do a video walk around of the vehicle before we kind of start it exactly where the customer parked it. So we do a video walk around. We get close up if we see anything nicks and scratches or damage. We get close up with the wheels as well, especially if we're doing tires. So we take that video inspection. So afterwards, if the customer's like, well, that scratch wasn't there before, or my rims were not, why is it all scratched off and everything here? We're like, well, that was curb rash. It wasn't there before. So we actually, let me send this to you. And then they've got nothing to say.
Yeah, so my previous digital inspection, if there was a dent, if there was multiple dents anywhere on the car, I could take a singular picture of those dents,
Yeah.
and that was our CYA. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys need to figure something out. So now that we can do multiple pictures, I take one at each corner
Yep.
so that it gets down the side, it gets across the back, the roof line, just for that instance that
Yep.
it's, ever since that we can
Oh
be like,
yeah.
oh, here it is.
Ever since
Yeah.
you did my brakes, my radio doesn't work.
No, you
Yep.
gotta cover yourself that way.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that like we have to, think about it like that.
Yeah.
But uh, I guarantee you, each one of us got burned on something because we didn't have a picture or something,
Yep.
and we had no proof that it wasn't like that beforehand. And
Thank God for security cameras, because I mean, I can just kind of play back if it was something within the past few days. Because
yeah,
as soon as you tell them, oh, well, that's interesting. You know what? Why don't you come by? I'm gonna grab some coffee. Let's look at the whole job. What do you mean? Oh man, you gotta see my new cameras. I can see everything in 4K. We'll zoom right in, and then that kind of ends the conversation pretty quick.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of like, oh, I'm just gonna say they did it anyway,
Oh yeah.
and I guarantee you that it's burned numerous shops.
Yep.
Um, like it would have burned us because I could only take one picture of the car.
Yep.
If I had, left front damage and right rear damage, how am I getting that in one picture?
Yeah.
So that was my argument through and
Stitch it
through.
together, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So,
Well, that sounds like pretty busy every day. Then at least you're getting your hours and everything in. You're working what more? You're pulling more than 40, 50 a week here, or
my ideal goal is 70 a week, but
there you go.
hell, I think last week it was either 58 or 68. So last week was pretty good.
That's great.
But prior to, it's like I'm just trying to break 50
That's
because
amazing, man.
me and my one manager had a unwritten agreement of a 50-hour guarantee.
Okay,
So I'm just I was just fighting to get to 50. As long as I got 50, then we don't have to worry about where we're coming up with these extra hours.
there you go.
So and that was my big goal, but I'm hoping that work starts picking up just with everything going on in the world that we can get back to it and back to making good money.
Yeah, I think it's going to get pretty busy here with people not being able to buy and afford new cars. I mean, we've been doing that for a while already, but I think it's going to get worse again, and uh, and we're going to see a real influx in cars coming in.
I agree, man. I was gonna tell you, I went on the auction the other day just to kind of dabble and see if there's anything interesting. The cost of cars have come up so much that I didn't stay on there for more than 15 minutes. And I've
Yeah,
I've noticed a lot of people. I mean, 90% of the stuff that you're sending them in the inspection, 90% is all getting approved. Everyone wants to fix their car. No one wants to trade it in or buy anything if they don't have to. So I mean, for shops, whether it's here or in the States, I mean, it's great for us. Keep these cars on the road.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they were saying the average car on the road now is was it like 10 or 12 years old or something like that on stateside. I don't know about for you guys.
Yeah, it's probably about the same here.
Yeah,
About the same.
but like it grew. I think since COVID, I think they said it grew like a couple years just because with everything that happened with the new cars, and I mean
Yep.
what we see with new cars
Yep.
constantly having problems, that it's, it's pushing it out that one, you can't afford the new car, but then
Yep.
two, you get the new car and then you can't even drive it for 3 months because it's got to go back to the dealer for a major repair.
Yeah.
I think I'd be afraid to go buy a new model car. Like, let's say a new model came out in 2027. I think I'd be afraid of buying it. I'd want to wait a couple of years if I wanted that specific
Yep.
vehicle to see if maybe they had some kinks that they had to work out,
Yep.
or buy it used 5 years old, because then most of the kinks are wore out on it and
That makes sense. Yeah.
push through, right? I don't know. Only way I would buy a new car is if I bought something on a lease and then I didn't care, right? But you're right. If you can't drive it, then that still sucks. So then you're
Yeah.
better off just renting a car every day.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point where I won't get anything newer than a 2020 just because everything that happened, the chip factory that, ended up not being a factory anymore,
Yep.
COVID popping off, like, it's like, I don't need anything that new.
No. Bruce, I think we're gonna call it for tonight. But man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to sit down and have a chat with us. We really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to you sending us a message saying that you're all booked for ASTA. Like Frank does not have any choice but to go.
Waiting for registration to open now.
So I think on a quick side note, last year was my first year at ASTA, and really, man, it was a game changer for me. So I'm a shop owner. I'm not a tech or anything, but the connections you make there outside of the class, that's huge, man.
Yeah, very much
Like
so.
you meet a lot of different people, you get a lot of different insights on a lot of stuff, man. Like the conversations you may have are going to be ones you take little golden nuggets of information out of each one of them.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
found
that's
that so much
life.
at tools. Like with the after class conversations and in between in the evenings and stuff.
Yeah.
I think there was days that Bruce went home and he probably didn't get home till 1 a.m. because he stayed at the lodge so long while we were just chatting there and hanging out.
Yep.
And but yeah, it's definitely a good way to network. The networking is unbelievable.
And the training, whether it be
Yep.
at Tools or ASDA, I mean, the trainers are second to none, man.
Yep.
Really, really incredible people.
Oh yeah, it was great. Like, I'm definitely doing tools again.
Yep.
I want to do Super Saturday,
Hmm.
which is, I think it's September. I have to double check.
Okay. Yep.
But that's out towards Philly. So for me, it'd be better to get a hotel room. Um,
Yep.
but one of the guys that I met at Tools is from Jersey, so he's
Okay.
going to be at Super Saturday. But just being at Tools, like, I met Benji. I didn't really meet Tanika, but she was there.
Yep.
I was kind of a fly on the wall with all those guys,
Yep.
as was Frank. But like, Benji and Jeff both said you don't have a choice; you have to go to Asta.
Pretty
And
much.
I'm like, I got to make sure it'll work. So, as long as I can make it work, I'm gonna go. I just
So,
gotta. Basically, I'm gonna do a whole family trip. Me, the wife, and both the kids.
beauty. No, I think you should definitely make it a huge priority to be there. I mean, besides the fact that it'd be a nice little getaway, but the learning and the training that you're going to get there is going to be great. Network, we're going to be there, and I just think that it could be a game changer for you, man. Like you met so many people in a group of 400. Imagine ASDA, there's thousands of people there, man.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go and take more of the classes.
Yep.
Like I definitely want to sit in a Brian Pollock class,
Oh yeah.
and I want to do another Brandon Steckler class. It's just I gotta get there. So
Start,
whether
start
it's
planning now, man. Start planning now.
yeah, whether it's tools, Asta, Super Saturday, like whatever it
Yep.
is. So I just gotta make it work.
Oh, that's great, man. So, but I know you and Frank are connected. Let's all stay in touch, and hopefully we'll see you there in North Carolina, my friend.
Yep, I'm hoping so.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. And again, all the listeners, please find us on Facebook, the Shop and Trad Talk podcast. Like, share, and follow. Appreciate it.